Okay, literally at the last second, I just thought of something. I'm just going to move the laptop a little. I actually had to wait. There's some late dinner making going on in the kitchen. Adjust this. There, now I can show off my shirt. Hello, Megalich, Fox of Fate, and Luke. I'm not sure if Fox is here. Fox was leaving comments an hour ago. But yes, how does this work? Hand holding a martini with an olive. Clearly, one of my new shirts. Did I say hello, Luke? Hi, Luke. And speaking of martinis, I don't have a drink. I could just pour myself a freezer martini, or I could find something else. Something else, maybe. Thinking of the fact that the majority of people who watch my cocktail channel are Americans. They're all about the fall cocktail flavors at the moment. Test something to make for next week. I do actually have my pineapple videos. What's a Malazza punch? Tequila, orange juice, pineapple juice, molasses. So a lot of orange and pineapple juice with tequila, which is a bit different. Terry's interference. Hello. Oh, damn, Luke got stuck on a train with no power. Well, that sucks. Thank you, Kelsey. I like the new shirt too, which is why I have the laptop a bit further back so I can show it off a bit more. Right, I don't think I'll make a Malazza punch. What else do we have? Chicha toddy, pumpkin sazerac. Freaking, what's a Thanksgiving margarita? Ginger, sea salt, tequila, allspice, amaretto, pumpkin puree. That actually sounds gross. I don't think I'll be doing that. I just really don't think I will be doing that. Fucking pumpkin. Americans in the fucking... Okay, apple brandy cocktails. That's some good options. Apple Jack Rabbit, a brandy old fashioned, a brandy sangaree, Calvados sidecar, forbidden apple, Jack Rose, Princess Mary's Pride. A stone fence. Gotta decide from all these things. They say for the brandy old fashioned. Yes, cherries. Ew, really? Putting lemonade on the top. Oh, no, that's barbaric. I'm not doing that. That's barbaric. I'm not doing that at all. And Luke, that is a fair point. Celtic King does tend to declare literally everything sexy. It's in a Princess Mary's Bride. Calvados, Touponnet Rouge. Half ounce dry vermouth. Ugh. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. Made by Harry Craddock. Hmm. I don't know. See, I'm fussing too much about making a drink. Just make a drink and chill out. Right. Corpse Reviver, Betsy Ross, Sidecar, Bacchanalian, Brandy Old Fashioned, Brandy Alexander. Okay. Cognac. I'm just jumping link to link at the moment. Same thing's going with Sidecar, French 75, A French Connection, Cognac and Amaretto. Ooh, I might try this. Might try this indeed. I'll wait. I might even wait for Annette because it's like a cognac version of her favorite, The Godfather. Think, you know what? After saying I wouldn't do it, maybe I will just pour myself a freezer martini because it's less faffing about, quite honestly. And you'll notice as I turn around, the design is on the back of the shirt too. So see that. I'll go get a martini glass. Okie dokie. Do you think my it's running a little low, the freezer martini. Needs a topping up. I can do that tomorrow. The infinity bottle of freezer martini. Although I did actually empty it on Halloween. I took it over to where it's hanging out with Annette and Abigail. It's interesting. This one has actually partially frozen. My previous ones didn't. Maybe I need to put more overproof gin in it so it won't freeze. Yes, it's going to be light enough to see the backyard for about another 20 minutes. Getting the stage. Around Christmas, it's going to be light enough to see the backyard until about 9. It's just that time of year. Having a martini slushy at the moment, basically. Yep, no, it's a real icy bit in the middle. That's interesting. All right, I will top that up tonight, and I'll put some of my overproof gin in to stop it from freezing. Got to keep stocked with some Navy strength gin because, you know, sometimes that's just what you need. Looks like this needs a bit of topping up, actually. Put a couple different gins in there and then some vermouth. Got a little bit of the dry vermouth left. I'll use that. And I have other vermouths if I need them. Megaleech, no one on Twitch yet. Maybe, you know, the very brief novelty value I had on Twitch is gone now. Or maybe they'll show up later. Who knows? Stranger things have happened. But yeah, this is what comes of me not really paying a lot of attention to Twitch and not really engaging with all that much. Well, we did get that fun night, though, where I was at 420 Jenkins did the raid and 1,800 people came across. So That was a wild old time and quite unexpected. And yeah, and I was amazed at how well behaved his people were. Incredibly polite and a delight to have on the stream, quite honestly. But just a one-off. I'm, I'm not. I'm not gung ho enough to be a serious Twitch streamer. More power to those who do have the energy. Beamoth, I don't give. Oh, see, look, I don't give up on Twitch, Beamoth, because it's ridiculously easy for me to just restream, like using StreamYard. Just with a single click, I can stream to YouTube and Twitch and Facebook, and no additional effort on my part. I just don't do, like all the Twitch, the serious Twitch streamers or even beginner Twitch streamers do the whole thing with emotes and just that's a young person's game. That is the all the bells and whistles of Twitch. So I leave that other. Yes, Luke, bits there. I recognize that from being on other people's Twitch streams. But yeah, it's a thing. Raiders, good evening to you, sir. Just enjoying my martini slushy because my freezer martini has actually partially frozen. That's okay. Yes, Megalich. It's almost like saying AIDS's name. Saying there was no one on Twitch made someone appear on Twitch. Hey, Boomoth, have I seen an announcement from yeah, okay. Yes, this is a thing. Several people I know have shared this online. Arby's fast food chain in the US has teamed up with a distiller to make French fry flavored vodka. So that's a thing. That actually would not be all that difficult to do. I'm intrigued as to how they do that. If they're doing a distillation that involves salt and oil, because that's how you get the flavor of French fries into vodka or anything else. Use oil and salt, essentially. Now, if you do that in a distillation run, the end result is going to be more subtle. But what you can do, what's called fat washing the spirit, like so they can make their vodka, and some vodkas have more of a saline profile than others. Vodka's meant to be neutral, but there are little differences between the flavors and smoothness of different vodkas. So you could have a distilled vodka that had a more saline profile, or you could do what's, as I said, called fat washing. And that would be like in a big vat of vodka that's ready to go, you actually mix oil and salt in and leave it, probably not for all that long, a day, couple days, a week. I'm not sure how long you do, but you basically keep the whole thing circulating so the oil and salt didn't settle, and then you filter off the vodka so you don't actually get oil in it, but it will have picked up the flavor of the oil. That's a process called fat washing, and you can actually get excellent results from it. And you can do it with literally any oil or fat. It's very popular to do a bacon fat washed bourbon because the flavors of bacon go extremely well with bourbon. So you make that just by cooking, like preferably a really smoky, streaky bacon, and then draining off the fat that comes when you pan fry it. Or you can put it in the oven over a tray that catches all the fat. But anyway, you get bacon fat, and then you put that into whiskey. and seal it and sort of shake it up so it mixes in, and leave it sit for a while, and then put it in the freezer. And overnight, the majority of the fat will rise to the top and solidify. Will be very easy to take off, and then you just filter the alcohol through a fine filter to get rid of any little bits, and then you've got a bacon flavored whiskey. And a behemoth duck fat would work a treat. I not a huge fan of duck fat myself, but if you like duck fat, be exactly the same thing. Warm up the liquefy the duck. Basically, you put some duck fat and your alcohol of choice in a pot. Warm it up. Don't boil it. Just warm it so the duck fat liquefies. And you want to stir it, get it really integrated. Let it sit. Then put it in a container. And to make your life easier, you want like an open top jar. You don't want to put it in a bottle. Put it in an open top jar and put that in the freezer. And that will freeze overnight. And the fat will rise to the top and solidify. Scoop it off. And that's like 99% of the fat out of the drink. Then you just filter it and get the little bits out, and then you'd have duck fat flavored alcohol. Duck fat, coconut oil is a popular one. Butter. That's where the term butterscotch comes from. That is literally that was originally scotch that had been fat washed with butter to give it that sort of buttery texture. And the butterscotch sweets were made with the butter that had been taken out of the fat washing process with the scotch. So yeah, butterscotch, the origins literally were around Scotch whiskey. But you can do like with vegetables, like I said, coconut's a vegetable. Well, it's fruit, whatever the fuck it is. But olive oil, I've seen people do it with olive oil. So essentially any oil or fat, you can do this fat washing process to infuse the flavors into an alcohol, and you can get some really good results. Wrestling Days, Big Pat, how you doing, man? For those who ever wonder why Wrestling Days calls me Red, it's from years ago when we were actually hanging out at YouTube meetups, and I'd put some color through my hair. Either I had actual red color in my hair, or it was another color that had faded a bit and looked a bit red. So Pat and his pal were calling me Red as a joke, red hair. Probably have to call me Grey these days, buddy. I have not colored my hair for 18 months. So this is the natural color with all the natural highlights, aka grey. That's the fun thing about having grey hair, actually. It is actually natural highlights. So if you color your hair, the grey picks up the color really well. So I don't know. One day I might color my hair again for fun. Who knows? Probably depends what happens with my current job. I'm on contract till the end of the year, which is not that far away. It's really only like 7 weeks away. And they're currently negotiating keeping me on, either extending a contract or permanent. Got to see what happens. Ads, I love my grey. Mrs. Angry loves my grey too. So, but I will say this though. A lot of people are either consciously or subconsciously ageist. So if I had to go out into the interview world again, I would probably dye my hair again for the interview process. Just light brown, just be a very light color. Wouldn't be a dramatic color. Would just be a very light brown. And it would not completely cover the gray. It would just mostly cover the gray. Behemoth, I drink ginger beer. It's not something I drink a lot of, although I've got a really good one in the fridge. Fever Tree spiced orange. Sorry, a fruit fly just went right in front of my face. It was very distracting. I'm going to save that actually because I ordered. Oh, wait, there's the friggin' fruit fly down there. You might get a loud clapping noise on the microphone. It was hovering around the microphone. Yeah, I ordered some special beverages from the Archie Rose Distillery in Sydney, and their new, rather unique honey-based spirit, which they call Eau de Bee. And apparently, the signature serve is with Fever Tree spiced orange ginger beer. Yes, sorry, Beam. I kind of got the red hair was the ginger reference. Yes. So, but and to answer the question boringly and literally, no, I didn't. I would not have drunk ginger beer at all at that time. Now I will use it sometimes as a mixer, not very often. But now I've found this Fever Tree spiced orange ginger ale. It's really good as a mixer with a couple of things. A chocolate gin I've got, and Archie Rose apparently think it's the perfect thing to go with their eau de vie. So I'm saving my current bottle to try out with my new thing. That's a good call, Megalich. Got to order martinis while bowling. This does look like a bowling shirt with a huge martini motif on it. And yes, ads, I agree. Fruit flies suck. They're a prick to get rid of when they get inside. Dairy is feminist. Lots of grey hair. People still call you young man. Well, I got my first grey hair when I was 27. So I swear there was a guy I went to school with who had some grey in his hair. Maybe he was secretly a 40-year-old man. I don't know. Maybe he was lying to us all, which would make us not very bright if we never caught on. But anyway, I'd probably cop to the not very bright, quite honestly. Okay, so I'm not going to make a brandy old-fashioned. Princess Mary's Pride, half interesting. Calvados, Toubonnet Rouge, Dry Vermouth, and a French Connection. Oh, okay, but I'm saving that for if Annette shows up because it's modeled on one of her favorites. I'm good, Pat. Hope you're good too, man. So, Cognac Classics. Mardi Gras cocktails to make for Fat Tuesday. All right, I love just hopping link to link, but Brandy Alexander, Brandy Sangari, Bacchanalian, Bitziros, Corpse Reviver. Just jumping back through some links. Princess Mary's Pride. Spirituous Mix, Dubonnet Rouge. Campari will do. Comparing that's weird. Okay, I thought that's what they said. Okay, I might try this Princess Mary's Pride with a red vermouth type drink I have. Hellion, hello, Kirsten. And cheers to you. Drinking martinis in my martini shirt. When I first set up, as I said, I've deliberately gone for the wider shot, pushed the laptop back to show the shirt off better. But when I first set up, it was like in my original framing, and it was about here. And it was really putting me off because that top of the glass was giving me an optical illusion. There was something between me and the camera. And I kept wanting to go, what's in the way? Oh, it's my shirt. It doesn't do that to me when I can see the whole thing, the hand holding thing with a olive. I don't usually put olives in a martini. My preferred garnish is a lemon twist. What do you serve a Princess Mary's Pride in? A coupe. I might actually just reuse this glass because it's just me. Who am I trying to impress? No one. That's who. Metal Maniac. What the bloody hell is going on? That is an excellent question. something that I ask about the universe in general, quite honestly. Hello, Safa. Yeah. Oh, Beamoth, you missed. Oh, maybe you didn't miss the other night. I had one of the shirts I got in my, because I bought a whole bunch recently. One of them actually has drink recipes on them. Has a recipe for a sidecar and a Manhattan on it. So that one I can literally point to, do the recipe. But yes, I've was one of my recurring lockdown purchases, cocktail themed. It started off just with these sort of abstract 50s 60s retro designs, and then they started releasing ones that had cocktail themes, so I started buying them, and then they released one. And so I've now two more still have to arrive in the mail, actually, from the last lot I ordered. Who knows when they'll arrive, but I haven't counted. But when I get those, I must be up to about 20 cocktail themed shirts. Dairy, you're for no olives in drinks, but yes on pizza. Where I definitely wouldn't have them in pizza. I wouldn't mind an olive as a garnish in a martini. I probably wouldn't eat it, but just that little bit of saltiness and maybe a little bit of the oil in a martini would not go astray. So I'm actually going to a bar on Saturday night. Well, a restaurant, but they do drinks. And this will be my first going out, sitting down date night with Mrs. Angry for, I've lost track, many months, at least 3 months. At least 3 months. We've been doing at-home date nights for months because of lockdowns. But that's all over now. So we're actually going out on Saturday night and dinner and drinkies. And then we had this grand plan that it's near the bay where we're having dinner. So we're going to have a sunset, and we're having a relatively early dinner. So we had this idea, we could have a sunset walk along the beach afterwards. Saturday is probably going to be pissing down rain the entire time. And even if it isn't actually raining when we finish the date, it's probably going to be heavy cloud cover, so there probably won't be a sunset. But who knows? We might get lucky. We might get lucky. But yeah, it's funny, when we booked this, it was like, we'll be by the bay, early dinner, sun still won't have set by the time we're finished. We could have a sunset walk along the beach, won't that be? And it's likely to just be shit as the weather. So we shall see what happens there. Oh, man, I like martinis. I never used to. It's an acquired taste. There's no question gin is an acquired taste. And I like very dry martinis, which means they are mostly gin and definitely an acquired taste. Pat, is my cat okay today? Well, she's been making a lot of noise and complaining, but she's spoiled and looked after. I'm going to top up my freezer martini before I put it. Dairy, see, I don't mind walking in light rain, but it's like the prediction is like fucking bucketing down on Saturday. So we shall see, essentially. Right, okay. I'm going to need my jigger. So where my jigger's at. Now, I definitely need to put some overproof in here. I never need. Oh, Jesus. I'm plowing through the Navy strength. I'm going to have to get another Navy strength gin. Do Patient Wolf do a Navy strength gin? I will have to check that out. What I know which other one I'll put in. This one. I'm trying to use this one up. No, actually, is there another one that's almost empty? Let's see, because that's actually got a lot in it. Not that one. All the choices I have to make. Well, I don't want to use bone dry. You know what? Might use this one. When you buy so many bottles, the decision on which one to use can take you a while. Metal Maniac, mate, you haven't been out since lockdown ended. I've been out once. I went out with Annette and Abigail on Halloween. Ah, okay, Kirsten. Patient Wolf, don't do a Navy strength. I forgot you were there. I'm going through my Never Navy strength at a rate of knots. And because it's a smaller bottle than many, it's only 500 mils. Going to have to get another Navy strength. Kirsten is my go-to knowledge base for all things alcohol, but particularly gin. Do you have a particular recommendation, Kirsten? Some of that gin. Some of this gin. Yeah, Kirsten, never just disappears in your house too. It's just, yeah, it's really good. So after getting a haircut, I haven't had a haircut in 6 months, maybe 7. So vermouth. Just, oh, there's such a small amount of this vermouth left. Kari Distillery Lightning Gin. Yes, Safra, I am cooking drugs after a fashion. Oof, that's a Kirsten strength top up there. 6 ounces of gin and a 1/4 ounce of vermouth. That's a Kirsten strength martini there. I'm going to put a little bit of water because I don't put it on ice. Okay, now maybe some more gin. And I might do some more of this one. Karu Distillery. Okay. Or Larrikin Gin, the Buccaneer. All right. Gin. And I'm going to put a little bit more vermouth in here. Actually, going to do my absinthe. Oh, those are both phenomenal navies. Well, I've not tried them. It's time for a new one, clearly. Bit of vermouth. There we go. That is our freezer martini all topped up. Alrighty. I'll probably need to buy another dry vermouth. All right. Oh, man. That was just that vermouth at the end. That was quite nice. All right. Put a little cork. Behemoth. Vermouth. There's an entire spectrum of vermouths. Some are quite bitter. I've got 1 or 2 that are on the bitter side. And then there's dry vermouths. They're not, depending on your palate, dry vermouths aren't necessarily bitter, but by definition, they're not sweet. And then it goes all the way through to sweet vermouths. Like the one I've got in there, a red sweet vermouth is very sweet. So yeah, vermouths carry a whole spectrum. But in martinis, the recommendation, the standard, is to use dry or even bitter vermouths in them. All right, now I need to look that up, Kirsten. So Karu Distillery. Start with them. Karu Distillery. They're in Grossvale, New South Wales. Yes, I'm over 18. And Larrikin. Larrikin Gin Distillery. There we go. About us, Larrikin Gin. Okay. Do they sell through the website? They just got, they've got one of these really fucking shithouse web design. Jesus Christ. People get up my fucking nose with bad website. Okay, those are drink recipes. Store. Okay, yeah, cool. Cool. Yes, I'm of legal drinking age. Original Larrikin. Ooh, they do a bramble and apple pie gin liqueur, which honestly sounds really nice. Scoundrel London Dry Style. Buccaneer Navy Strength. Barrel aged Lola Collaboration Gin. Espresso Martini. Sunburnt Country Bush Tucker Gin. Nice. Nice. See, Safa, in the 90s, I didn't know any different. Ooh, that's the spirit. Usually works as a code for Karu. Well, that's good. Matt, have I heard from Mr. Squeaky Queen Fingernails? I assume you mean our weird obsessive stalker. The sad fuck still fucking lurks and watches the streams afterwards, which would be even sadder. No amount of encouragement seems to get the sad fucker to fuck off and get a life, honestly. It's like he's just desperate for attention. It's like, well, all you had to do was not be a cockhead, mate. I gave you so much of a fucking break and you were just a cockhead. Oh, okay. So yes, Kirsten, you do like the Sunburnt Country Gin. The bramble is delicious. It looked good. It actually really looked good. Bramble apple pie gin liqueur. So that's like a pre-mixed cocktail, basically. 20% alcohol. That's a pre-mixed cocktail. And it sounds good. So Larrikin, free delivery with orders over $100. Well, free delivery if you're in Ballarat. So I assume they're in Ballarat. From the mouth of the devil's wilderness at the base of the Blue Mountains. All right. So I didn't even look at the Karoo. Shop. Again. Gin. Gift packs. Morita Chipotle vodka. Goodness. Okay. But they're gins. Affinity gin. Lightning gin. Just a heads up, deliveries may take a little bit longer. Yes. Yes, they might. All right. So Karoo have a lightning gin and Larrikin have Buccaneer. $57.5. Ooh, it's tempting. Yes, Matt, you're probably bash again. Annette, how you doing? Oh, now you're here. I'd been saving a drink recipe for you, Annette. It's like a Godfather, but made with apple brandy, and I want to try it. So thought I'd try it and tell you what it's like. You might like to try it. I'm just putting these back. Wasn't even drinking them, just topping up my freezer martini. All right, so this drink is called a French Connection, the French Connection, because they say to make it with French cognac, so it's brandy. I'm not going to make it with French cognac because I actually don't have any cognac, but I have an Australian brandy, and I'm not going to make it with amaretto because I don't have amaretto. I'm going to make it with Mac. So this is an Aussie connection, not a French connection. And I'll just put it on ice. It's as simple as that. All right. Just get a piece of ice. And I did notice that brandy was on special at Dan Murphy's this week, which is just as well because I'm out. Although I do have Armagnac, although I don't think I have much of that. No, there is not much Armagnac left either. I do need to get some brandy and possibly some cognac, but we'll see. Right, so 1.5 and 1. Okay. Yes, this Kirsten, great minds think alike. It's not a thing. Matt, are there types of spirits I don't own? Not in terms of big categories. In the big categories, I have at least one of the spirit types. And to me, what are the big categories? Gin, brandy, whiskey, vodka, tequila, and rum. Those are the big categories, and I have something on all of them. But you do get many. Do you like the shirt, Abigail? I'll just show it off again. Giant hand holding a martini with an olive. First time outing for this shirt. And I still have one more new one to show off as well. So, all right. I'm just making this drink in the glass. Probably use the last of this brandy. I'm not sure how much is in here. Ooh, just about perfect. It's just a teeny bit over, but there's no point saving a few drops. So, brandy and a cork. I don't need any more bottles, but I'll save the stopper just in case because it's a cork one. And the cork ones tend to go moldy after a while. Yes, I like that, Abigail. It's that shirt equivalent of Steve Carell shouting loud noises. So Aussie connection, 1 ounce amaretto, or in my case, 1 ounce Mac. So yeah, this is a Brandy Godfather, basically. Pretty simple. They don't say any bitters or anything like that. I know when you make your Godfathers, Neddy, you like to top them with lemonade. And yes, it is a big martini in it, definitely. This have you played the last post on your stream today? Nice. Apparently, there's a thing called Crown Copyright Protected Works managed by National Defence made it unmonetized. That's very strange. It's very strange. Yeah, actually, yeah, Abigail, like Megaleech's thing, it looked like one of those American bowling shirts. It looks like I'm going to order martinis while bowling. So, Aussie connection. Well, that ain't bad. That is not bad at all. I'd like it to chill a while longer. Oh, and their recommendations for amaretto. French 75, spiced margarita, a Macaulay Culkin. Oh my God. That's a fun name for a drink. Do you have to do this when you serve it? It's a tequila cocktail. Wow. Okay. So, tequila, amaretto, lemon juice, lime juice, agave, egg white. So that's a tequila sour with amaretto, which honestly sounds interesting. Chocolate bitters. That honestly sounds interesting. Kirsten, you ate a heap of dumplings, want more but feel a bit sick. I went to, there's a ramen place not far away. It's like a 10-minute drive. It's one of our semi-regulars for Thursday night takeaway. For whatever reason, that's become a tradition in the Angria household, Thursday night takeaway. And we just mix up where it. This ramen place is just friggin' awesome. They also do like they do ramen soups, but you can also get a ramen dish that has no soup. So it's cooked ramen and all the other stuff, but no soup. And that's actually what I prefer. Their noodles are just so yummy. I had karaage chicken with ramen, and hot damn, it was good. It was good. I had some dumplings as well, gyoza. Young Mzangri has made just a whole raft of wontons. There's still a bunch of them in the freezer. I might try and con her into cooking me some of them over the weekend. Maybe I might be able to do that. That seems like a good deal to me. But she goes through these phases where she goes, I'm going to make a bunch of dumplings, or wontons in this case. And she makes up the internal, with I think it was pork mince and some shiitake mushrooms, a whole bunch of other stuff. Makes them up, rolls them in little balls, and she gets the wonton wrappers from one of the Asian grocers down the road, and sits here. And it, like, the whole prep time is probably a couple of hours. And she sits there just rolling, making little wontons, and she makes such perfect little shapes out of them. And so every now and then, my offspring get into spending a couple of hours to make a meal. Like when they make spaghetti bolognese, it's really over the top. They, in part of the sauce, they grate a range of vegetables. I forget exactly what they put in, but they grate some vegetables really finely. So when that's cooked up in the tomato and with the mince, you don't even notice it's there, but it's adding richness to the sauce. So it's kind of cool when they get motivated to do stuff like that and get a treat. So, I mean, okay, you can't get much simpler than a 2-ingredient cocktail, really. That's pretty good. That is honestly pretty good. But then again, I like a Godfather too. Wonder if I could get a bit fussier with that, in fact. Oh, wait, I was going to look. Oh, that's right. The Macaulay Culkin's a tequila, an amaretto. That's just fascinating to me. Might have to make that sometime. Right. Just planning this. How do these crew say to make a Godfather? Oh yeah, just Scotch or bourbon and amaretto. Okay. I was just wondering if any of them had a fancy way to make a Godfather. Well, holy crap, Diffords do. Yeah, so they got Scotch and amaretto. But they have all these, when you just search Godfather, Madura-ized old-fashioned Godfather, smoked old-fashioned Godfather, Brooklyn Godfather, fat Godfather, toasted old-fashioned Godfather, Godfather sour. Okay, I need to know what a Godfather sour is. Scotch, amaretto, lemon juice. Okay, so it's literally just that. It's just a whiskey sour, but with amaretto in it. Okay. Fair enough. But what are these other wacky sounding ones? What's a Brooklyn Godfather? Whiskey, amaretto, vermouth. Okay, yeah, no, that makes sense. It's like a perfect Manhattan, but with, sorry, yeah, Brooklyn, but with amaretto. Okay. The toasted old-fashioned Godfather. Whiskey, amaretto. Okay, so that's just a split between rye and whiskey. Hmm. With Angostura. Oh, nice. Kirsten, elderflower gin liqueur on ice. Nice touch. Yeah, tomorrow night I'm going to make a video tasting it, but I've got my winter colada liqueur that I've made an entire bottle of 750 mils in the fridge, and it's just kind of, I'm giving it a day, or actually it's going to be 2 days by the time it's done. 2 days for everything to intermingle and the flavors to really develop. So that's got my super pineapple rum, coconut rum, overproof rum, allspice dram, and then tapacha, which is a pineapple soft drink, or a lightly fermented pineapple drink, pineapple syrup, coconut syrup, and lime syrup. So it's got all the flavors of a pina colada: the rum, the pineapple, the coconut, and the lime. And but it's got the spices like cinnamon and anise and nutmeg and clove and allspice. It's got those spice flavors in there as well. So I'm actually really looking forward to drinking it. And I think it'd be a really flexible drink. Like if you wanted to brighten it up, you could shake it with lime juice. Or if you wanted to make it creamy, you shake it with cream of coconut. And maybe I'll do that, actually. I'll do those three side by side, straight out of the bottle, shaken with lime and shaken with cream of coconut, and decide which one I like the most. That would make a good video. That would make a good video. So I'll probably do that tomorrow night. And then I just have to decide what else to do. It's actually probably my next week's videos done. There'll be the 10-minute pineapple extravaganza where I show how I made a pineapple syrup and tapacha and pineapple rum. And then I make the drink out of it. The winter colada liqueur. Then I'll make drinks out of that. Maybe a short video. Still trying to get somewhere with YouTube shorts, like YouTube trying to compete with TikTok, which I think they're going to fail at, quite honestly. I've been on YouTube and Google long enough to see them fail at multiple things they've tried to do. And I personally think their attempt to compete with TikTok is going to fail. Who knows? Who knows, really? I don't know shit. People should not friggin' do anything based on my opinion or my recommendation, but I'm just going off my experiences with what's he call he? Right, forget that. Forget that entire topic, honestly. I was also trying to look something up while I was talking. And this is the thing. So, Karu Lightning Gin. Kirsten reckons the code, that's the spirit. Works with lightning gin. Go to check out. See if that works for me. Free shipping. All right, I just have to decide between the two, really. Raise, hello. Remember when we turned YouTube into a job back when Mr. Safety was huge? Yeah, my whole stab at turning YouTube into a job was like 12 to 15 years ago. And it didn't quite work out. So I'm back in a day job and now it's just for fun. And that's why I don't stress out. That's why I haven't been making videos. I've just been doing live streams for 18 months because the world's gone fucking weird and I just want to hang out and chill with people and try to have a good time, or at least stave off the madness of this world. So that's what I do. Yeah, it's like, it was very liberating to realize, like, oh, to make more money from YouTube than from my day job, I'd have to be in the top 1% of the top 1%, and that isn't going to happen. So, let that breath out and stop stressing about it. Right. Now, I'm at that temptation point of the evening. Do I make one more drink? I'm slightly tempted to. At the halfway mark, and I could make one more drink to sort of see me down the home stretch, as it were. The Princess Mary, Calvados, Dubonnet Rouge, and Dry Vermouth. So that's honestly like an apple brandy martini. I'm actually going to try that. I am going to try that because I think I've got something good. I am going to try that. I'll need a shaker for it. Or will I? That sounds like a stirred drink. Yeah. Stir it. I might do a super ghetto stir of that because it's just me here at home, no one watching. So I don't have to feel guilty. All right, I'm going to do that. I'm going to put this back. Calvados. Max back. Calvados. With the thing that looks halfway between a World War II German hand grenade and a sex toy. Und. Wait, so is it Dry Vermouth? Or is it Princess Mary? Okay, I'm going to try Calvados. Oh, shit. Look out. Calvados. And my absinthe vermouth. Why not indeed? All right. So, 2 ounces of Calvados. Booyah. All right. Put that over ice. 1 ounce of Dubonnet Rouge. They said it should be slightly bitter. And this one is slightly bitter. So do 1 ounce of this. And my tinnitus just kicked into gear for some reason. I have like microphone feedback in my ear right now. The joys of living with permanent hearing damage. It says I should garnish with an orange twist. I don't think I will bother. I will just do half an ounce of dry vermouth. All right. That's that. So this is my ghetto cocktail stir because I had a big bit of ice in here. Just going to stir it. Like, this would be very frowned upon in serious cocktail circles. But I'm not very serious. So it's okay. All right. But I am going to... Oh, shit. Bit of splash. Lost a bit. I'm going to put it in a martini glass. So I can pretend to be a sophisticated motherfucker. Mop up my spillage. It's a nice colour. It is a nice colour. Again, do I do stuff like this? I might do that for my YouTube channel. It's a nice colour. Man, that's pretty good. Oof. That is pretty good. Man, I am on board with that. Yep. No, that is actually pretty good. It's one I might do. Like a winter martini. I'll call it a winter martini. Yes. Okay, he uses his fingers. How gauche. And exactly, Kirsten. Do whatever you want with your own cocktail. I do think because like Nettie got for Christmas last year, she got me a cast of Gaz Regan's finger to stir drinks with, which is very funny. And I've done a bit like for my cocktail channel on YouTube. I'm using that to stir. And I just kind of suck the drink off the end of the finger to go, yep, that tastes right. And then look at the camera and goes, just don't, if you're in public and a bartender does that, leave the bar. At home, it's cool. But if you're out at a bar and a bartender sticks their finger in a drink, or if they taste the drink off the end of the thing they're mixing, no, that's bad. There are two different things quality bartenders do to say, have I diluted that drink properly? One is with the stirring thing. They'll tap it on the back of their hand so they get a drop on the back of their hand, and then they taste that going. The other thing is they'll use a straw. They'll just get a straw and do the old suction and put the thumb over the end so they've got a couple of drops, and then taste that and go, yeah, is that enough? Yeah, that's good. Yes, no, Behemoth. I've been very reticent to go to bars because of COVID, honestly. But like I said, I'm going out on Saturday night. Gotta do it sometime. Man, that is actually pretty good. I need to write that down because I'll fucking forget it. And I've decided I'm going to learn from Nettie, who keeps a notebook. I'm going to keep a notebook. So, because there was a couple of things I was sure I was going to forget, so I wrote them down. So, I need to just take a note. Princess Mary's Pride. That's on liquor.com. And it's 2 Oz Calvados. 1 Oz. And I'm going to be doing Cookie Rosa. 1/2 Oz of dry vermouth. I am going to have to go to Dan's and get a couple things, I think. And I think I want to write Macaulay Culkin down too, because Macaulay Culkin sounds funny. I wonder when his birthday is, because I remember. No idea why this is called the Macaulay Culkin. Put it here. This is also from Liquor, but it's one Oz tequila, one Oz amaretto, half Oz lemon, half Oz lime, half Oz agave, egg white, 4 dashes chocolate bitters. 4 dashes choc bitters and a rosemary garnish. All right. I wrote the notes. Excellent. Okay. Done it. What's the deal with Macaulay Culkin? Good question. I just randomly found a cocktail called the Macaulay Culkin. And maybe I'll save it for his birthday. Oh no, his birthday's just passed. I'm not going to wait. His birthday's 26th of August. He's 41 now, for anyone who wants to feel old. Little Macaulay Culkin from Home Alone is 41. Yowza. But now I know there's a drink called the Macaulay Culkin, which actually sounds interesting. It's basically a tequila sour with amaretto. And that honestly sounds quite interesting. All right, I need to probably close all those windows. Abigail, he's appeared on Red Letter Media videos. He's quite a great person. He seems pretty good to me. There was a period where it looked like he might have been fucked up by the child stardom, but for about the last 10 years, he seemed like a pretty good person. So good on you, Macaulay Culkin, is all I'm saying. Yeah. So I want to look at these other weird Godfather drinks on Iffords. I want to look at smoked old fashioned. What's a fat Godfather? A fat Godfather. Oh, yeah, okay. It's a bacon fat washed whiskey. Of course it is. Kind of thought that would be it, but I wanted to check. Godfather Highball, Toasted, Brooklyn, a Madeira-ized, old-fashioned Godfather. That's whiskey and rye and scotch and amaretto and Madeira. Wow. So that's really going for a friggin' mix of the whiskies. They're recommending bourbon, rye, scotch, amaretto, and Madeira wine. It's a whole bunch of flavors going on there. Jerry's anti-feminist. You have such trouble remembering names. Use memory tricks. One coworker's full name sounds like a cocktail, so that helps. That's excellent. You meet them and go, "Hello, Mr. Manhattan." Mm. I'm trying to think of the most embarrassing one. Someone would be named like Sean Car hyphen Bellini, and you remember it because it sounds like porn star Martini. Sean Carbellini. Sorry, that is like super stupid, but I've made myself laugh thinking of working with someone whose name was Sean Carbellini, and remembering because his name sounds like porn star Martini. And that's just stupid. And it's the stupidity that I enjoy. I should have put a maraschino cherry in this, quite honestly. Mostly just because I like maraschino cherries. I'm going to make that for. This is like if someone's scared of martinis, you go, okay, well, this is like martini-esque, but easier to get into than a dry gin martini if dry gin martinis scare you. And if dry gin martinis scare you, your bloodline is weak and you will not survive the winter. I don't know where that comes from originally, but it's just always struck me as funny. And I just thought I'm on the internet. I could look that up. Your blood line is weak. It did actually finish. So, is it from Game of Thrones? Maybe it's from Game of Thrones. Your bloodline is weak and you won't survive the winter. Right. Came from a yearbook quote. If you like pineapple slices on pizza, I hope you like pineapple slices on your children's grave because you're weak. Your bloodline's weak and you will not survive the winter. That's someone's yearbook quote in America. It's a bit aggressive, even by my standards. That's a little bit aggressive, quite honestly. So that might be the source of it, someone's yearbook quote. Maybe? Maybe? Meme guy. Yeah, it appears that might be the source of it. That may actually be the source of it. Someone's yearbook quote, which is a kind of aggressive yearbook quote. Abigail always says, "Why do I repeat things?" And I know I just repeated that was aggressive multiple times, but I was also trying to learn something. There is feminist. That line is from a Cold Chisel song, Cheap Wine, I think. Sitting on the beach drinking rocket fuel, oh yeah. Spent the whole night breaking all the rules, oh yeah. It's like from cheap wine and a 3-day growth. For me, it's cheap wine and an 18-month growth. I have trimmed it. I have trimmed this. If I just let my facial hair go absolutely rampant for 18 months of me, this is expensive cocktails and a 6-month growth. But again, it's not a. If I'd let it completely just grow out for 6 months, it'd be much longer. I've trimmed it. I'm not very good at trimming my own beard, particularly these bits. So I'm thinking now I need to go into the city and find out if the dude who used to cut my hair and trim my beard is still there, if his business has survived. And maybe get a trim. I'm keeping growing my hair. I'm liking it long. Could pull it back in a ponytail. It's not a proper. I think it's not a proper ponytail till the hair at the front of your head is part of the ponytail, and it's not quite long enough. I'm thinking it needs to grow for about 3 more months till I can just like pull back all my hair and tighten a ponytail. For those who are playing at home. So Dairy's feminist. I used to listen to Cold Chisel all the time when I was in high school. Just fuck my hair up tiny bit. I don't like that. Just fluff it up a bit. Big ones I listened to it in high school are Cold Chisel and the Angels. That was my high school music. Australian rock. Slightly different styles. Cold Chisel were more sort of straight ahead pub rock. The Angels were kind of mainstream, but they were kind of artsy mainstream. The Angels were, because the lead singer and one of the main songwriter, Doc Neeson, did go to drama school. The Angels were like rock with a drama guy in charge. No drama guys in Cold Chisel. No drama kids in Cold Chisel. The Angels were like a rock band with a drama kid in charge. It was still quite mainstream rock, but there was a drama kid who got to make decisions about what happened. Whereas Cold Chisel were just kind of bogan pub rock, which I was really into. I saw them live once. They came to Dubbo as part of the Circus Animal tours, and for some unknown reason I managed to sneak backstage. So I've got somewhere in a photo album backstage photos of Cold Chisel from about 1983 83. I think, yeah, would have been 83. Trying to think where I was in high school, what year it was. So, yeah, I've got somewhere, because I think I kept it, a photo album with backstage photos of Cold Chisel from 1983. So I got photos of most of the band members backstage. A couple of them posed for the photo, and some of them I just snapped a photo. Ian Moss posed for a photo. The keyboard player posed for a photo. Barnsey, I just got a photo. I think the drummer, I just got a photo. Yes, that's my misspent youth in Dubbo coming up there. Definitely only going to drink water from now on, because part of me is saying have several more drinks of alcohol. That part of me is evil and not to be trusted. So Friday, tomorrow, that's all. Abigail, you want to see the photos? You never know. Okay, what I've kind of fucking declared is to take a bit of time off in January and unpack a bunch of fucking boxes that we haven't unpacked in this box in 4.5 years and throw some shit out. But I have some excellent photos of the Angels I took around 82, 83, 84, because I saw the Angels live several times because they were my favorite band. So I have some very good photos of the Angels that I took 82, 83, 84. And photos I took of Cold Chisel in 83 on the Circus Animals tour. So, I'm just going to get some water. Aguafina. God, missing Aguafina just made my brain jump all over the place. There's the American rapper and actor Aquafina, who is of Asian ancestry. She was in the movie Crazy Rich Asians, which was a movie I really enjoyed. If you haven't seen Crazy Rich Asians, I recommend it because it's a very, very good romantic comedy. I think most romantic comedies are shit. Crazy Rich Asians is a very good romantic comedy. It also made me angry because it was a really good movie and really enjoyable. And I watched it and thought, how many movie ideas have we been denied in the sort of white English-speaking West because some fuckwit in charge of production or distribution went, no, they're all Asian. No one wants to see it. And fuck that noise. And now Squid Game has turned out to be the singular most popular thing Netflix has ever screened. A South Korean critique of capitalism, which is depressing as fuck if you haven't watched it. It strikes a bit close to home. That's why it's depressing. But I noticed there is another, I think it's Korean drama, but a bit more fantastical, about to open on Netflix. It's called Hellbound. And I watched a trailer and it was fucked up, man. And I mean that in both the good and the bad ways. Like, man, if you don't want to watch some really twisted, fucked up sort of horror fantasy shit, maybe don't watch it. But if you're like me and you do want to watch some twisted, fucked up horror fantasy shit, Hellbound might be good for you. I think it is released on Netflix in a week or so. But yeah, I watched the trailer for it and it was like, oh, okay, a few people who watched Squid Game might go, oh, there's another Asian show. I might watch this. It looks very different to Squid Game. I'm thinking I might enjoy it though. But yeah, it looks pretty twisted and fucked up. And also possibly another critique of the fucked society we find ourselves in now, just maybe. But yes, it looks a bit interesting and weird. And actually, speaking of things I've been watching, I just finished watching season 1 of Y: The Last Man. That's an adaptation of a comic from 10 or 15 years ago. It ran for a while. It's basically some terrible worldwide cataclysm happens that kills everyone with a Y chromosome, apart from this one dude. And it's sort of what happens from there. And because there's a whole bunch of stuff that's adapted from comics, most notably The Walking Dead I've been into for ages. And it was always fascinating to watch The Walking Dead TV show because I've been following the comic for ages. And the TV show periodically diverges radically from the comic. And I think that's partly because they go, TV's a different medium and we have to do things differently. And partly because they're kind of bored and go, I want to do something different that's actually original while I tell this story. So, and that's the same. Game of Thrones was a book, but the TV series Game of Thrones would periodically diverge quite wildly from the books. And it's always interesting to see the difference. Now, I never read the comics Why the Last Man, so I don't know how wildly the TV show diverges from the comics. I suspect two areas where it diverges quite a bit. One is there's some very detailed discussion in the TV show on the meaning of gender and gender identity and chromosomal differences, and the fact that the XXXY chromosomal binary is not real. It's not a binary. There's a whole spectrum of differences within that. And I suspect that was not explored so deeply in the comic. Also, there are characters in the TV show who are trans men, and I don't know if they were in the comic. The other thing that I'm willing to bet is much more prominent in the TV show than in the comic, if not totally lacking in the comic, are some really fucking Trumpy, paranoid conspiracy lunatic shit, because that's just the world we live in now. And 10 years ago, when this comic started, the political scene wasn't quite as deranged as Trump made it, but there's some characters in the TV show who are full-on Trumpy conspiracy theory nutso shit. And I suspect that wasn't as prominent in the comic, but I don't know. And yes, Abigail, RIP trans women, but also because there's this one dude with a Y chromosome who's survived and no one knows why. They're trying to find out, A, why did he survive? Also, he has a pet monkey, which also has a Y chromosome. And so it's like, okay, that's weird. They both survived. What's that about? And they hook up with this geneticist, and the theory is she's going to try and work out, A, why did he survive? B, can she develop like clones of him that may allow humans to continue to exist, etc. But she's the one who gives the big speech about the XXXY binary is bullshit. And she said not only did a lot of trans women die, but a significant number of women who would have been regarded as cis women died when this happened, because they didn't have XX chromosomes, because not all women who are like assigned female at birth have all the those physical characteristics. They don't all have XX chromosomes. So a whole bunch of women who had spent their entire lives as cis women died when this happened because they didn't have XX chromosomes. I suspect that wasn't in the comic, because the discourse on trans and intersex issues wasn't as developed 10, 15 years ago. But I don't know, because I haven't read the comics. But it was very interesting. Yeah, this geneticist does a whole thing of like, no, this is all fucked. You know, it was, all this shit happened, and it's just not as simple as people think. Musical Aviator. Flight Sims stream this week. Lots of them. World Flight Week. Simfest UK on Twitch, raising money for Lullaby Trust. 3-man crew, full-size replica, 747 cockpit. Pwah, that sounds wild. Hey, Justin, how you doing? We were just talking TV, or specifically talking about Why the Last Man. And also I mentioned The Walking Dead comic adaptation I'm a fan of. First part of the current season was pretty cool. And I also watched the spin-off Fear the Walking Dead, although there's new episodes running recently, and the last episode I watched infuriated me because it was just people making really bad decisions. And to a degree, that happens a lot in movies and TV. Even good quality movies and TV, you end up with people making inexplicably bad decisions because it advances the drama. And I always find that really frustrating. But the last episode of Fear the Walking Dead I watched, I was like, fuck, who would do that? Who would fucking do that? That is fucked. And I got quite angry. If the next episode makes me as angry, I won't be able to watch any more of it because it was just like, no, this is just intelligence insulting, stupid. Stop it. Holy shit, Justin, you're in Melbourne. You learn there's a COVID case in the building you're staying in. Well, that fucking sucks. Mega H, has anyone watched Walking Dead World Beyond? Oh, that's the one on Amazon Prime, isn't it? And I have not watched it yet. And I think there's 2 seasons of it. And that's like, I feel like that's like the teen version of The Walking Dead. It's like the Vampire Diaries version of The Walking Dead. And I haven't rushed to watch it, even though I have Prime Video. Because I never see anyone talking about it. And to me, that's the big tip off for a show or a movie. If I haven't watched it and people on social media just aren't talking about it, I'm like, oh, geez, that one hasn't caught anyone's imagination, has it? So I have not rushed to watch Walking Dead World Beyond because it kind of looks like teenage Vampire Diaries version of The Walking Dead, and B, I've never seen people talking about it on social media, which makes me think, oh, it just hasn't grabbed people's attention. And yes, Justin, it is nice that we don't have hard lockdowns anymore, although if you end up being a close contact, you're supposed to isolate for 2 weeks, but it just reminded me though, I'm living in a fully vaccinated household. The offspring have all had their second dose more than 2 weeks ago. I had my second dose about 3 months ago. Mrs. Angry has had her third dose because she works in health, and so she had her second dose 6 months ago. Yes, I did see there's a new Dexter series. I think in Australia that's on Paramount Plus, which is a new fucking streaming. I'm not paying for another streaming service. I have actually heard good stuff about the new Dexter. And I never finished the Dexter season. I've got 1 or 2 seasons of Dexter to still watch. And the only thing I remember is that almost everyone hated the last episode of Dexter. And I haven't watched it. I haven't watched the original stuff at the end. But I have actually heard good things about this new season of Dexter. And I'm also interested because the lead in Dexter was one of the main characters in 6 Feet Under, which Mrs. Angry and I watched. We binge watched. Was it 5 seasons? I think. And season 1 was literally 20 years ago. It was 2001. I think it was 5 seasons, and we binge watched it. Oh yeah. I noticed Mega League Prime just changed and added a whole bunch of auxiliary subscription services. But I think you can subscribe to Paramount Plus in its own right, or I think you can pay to watch the stuff on Prime as well. But yeah, we binge watched 5 seasons of 6 Feet Under over a period of months. And it got to the point where I was just calling it, okay, what's happening on this week's adventures of the Bad Decision family? Because they just always made bad decisions. It was a family. The series centered on a family, and they just made a cavalcade of bad decisions, all to advance the drama. But it was a pretty good show. And it held up amazingly well. Literally, because it was 20 years old, I expected to laugh at the fashions and the hairstyles and possibly the language used. But no, I never found myself laughing at their fashion or their hairstyles. And in terms of the politics of the show, it was really progressive. I think 20 years ago, it was fucking groundbreaking. But yeah. Justin, it's unlikely every part of the building you're staying in is isolated from most common. Oh, sorry. Oh, just out of the blue, a yawn. Oh, we'll see what happens here, Justin. Megalich, Mrs. Angry was particularly into the English version of Shameless, the original version of Shameless. We watched a couple of episodes of the American version of Shameless, and she couldn't get into it. I thought it was pretty good, actually. But Mrs. Angry wasn't into it. But I might watch it at some point, actually. Because I thought the American version of Shameless was quite interesting. And I like the guy who's the dad. What's his name? William H. Macy. William H. Macy plays the dad of the family in Shameless, and he's a fucking degenerate. I love it when a character in a show doesn't have redeeming features and they're just a degenerate. That's kind of fun. Oh god, no! Are you on once? Oh, Heine. Oh yes, you've watched all of Squid Game, waiting for season 2. It's going to be a year or so till we see season 2 of Squid Game. But yes, I think Squid Game was very good, but depressing as fuck. And I mean, starting, I'm still not going to do any spoilers. I'm still going to ban spoilers from the chat. But I thought, as quickly as episode 2 of Squid Game, they put in a twist that I did not see coming. And then what happened after the twist was what made the show so fucking depressing. Basically, it's just I think it's not giving away too much, is people in desperate financial trouble are recruited to play these games where they get killed if they lose, but if they ultimately win, they make a fortune. I think the fortune is something like $40 million. In terms of one that's billion, but I looked it up as 1,000 won to $1 is the basic exchange rate. So I think the grand prize is something like $40 million. So I'm just... I yawned once and now I won't be able to stop yawning. So yeah, but the basic premise of Squid Game is capitalism is so brutal and fucked. There is a large section of the population who are so ground down and life is so hard for them, they may well risk death for the chance of a payoff that would liberate them from the torture of their daily existence. Which is pretty fucking depressing. Justin, you meant to be going back to camp on Saturday. Hopefully they don't block you, man. Hopefully they don't block you. I'm hoping that stuff's the past, because I know so many people who've had their movements restricted, and I'm going to yawn again. Shit, I can't stop. Oh, I'm like that. It's like the floodgates open. Yawn once, and you're just going to yawn them. No, Safa, I think in Squid Game the prize is 40 billion South Korean won, and I looked it up, and it's about 1,000 Korean won is like $1. So 40 odd billion Korean won is $40 million. So yeah, because it's also talking about people's debts in the hundreds of thousands or millions or tens of millions of won, and I'm working out that was in those people were on minimum wages jobs or unemployed with tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. But yeah, no, the central premise of Squid Game is capitalism is so fucked. People might see the gamble of death versus getting out of the grind as a gamble worth taking. It goes much deeper than that and gets way more fucking depressing than that. And it really fucks with you. Yeah. And there's probably going to be there is going to be a second season, and it's probably going to center around the guy who wins the Squid Game trying to take it down. Oh, so Megalich worked it out. The grand prize in Squid Game is worth $52,875,301.50 in Australian money. So yeah, I was using very broad. So it's like, I think it's 40 million American dollars, 50 million Australian dollars. Oh, sorry. Oh, but this always happens. If I start yawning, I cannot stop. Oofed. That's what we're talking about. So, going to make some cocktails tomorrow. I'm going to make some videos tomorrow. Just taste testing some cocktails tonight. I think we worked out that the what was it called? I might save the Macaulay Culkin one, but the Princess Mary's Pride is pretty good. I've got to make. There's a tip on how to make really fluffy foam on a sour. Is to put a bit of soda water in there. I think I can make that a short video. I think I can do that in less than 60 seconds. Might do that tomorrow. Like, how do you make a sour really fluffy? You go shake, dry shake, and then you do a dry shake with half an ounce of soda, shake, foam. Then I want to play off that. I saw another recipe for what someone called a creme brulee foam. You do a thing where you make a really thick foam, and then you sprinkle like caster sugar on the top of that, and then blowtorch it, burn it, and so you get a creme brulee top on a sour, which honestly sounds fucking awesome as far as I'm concerned. So, apologies for the yawns, but I warned you once I said I can't stop. That was the other thing I need to look up. Drink days. Are there any good drink days coming up? Someone's got a whole calendar of drink days where someone's declared a day to be drink. Okay. Harvey Wallbanger Day was this way. They can get fucked. Harvey Wallbangers suck. Wait, next week is Australian Gin Week? Is that real? From the 15th to 20th. When's that? Yeah. Kirsten, are you still there? Did you know next week was Australian Gin Week? Maybe I should do Australian gin stuff next week. Wow, my stove just did a really weird buzz for a second and then stopped. So, okay, Australian Gin Week is next week. Eggnog Month is December. Who cares? Screwdriver Day on December 14th. Sangria Day. Eggnog Day. Champagne. I love that. New Year's Eve is Champagne Day. Of course, people drink champagne on New Year's Eve. January 1st is Bloody Mary Day. Of course, because people drink Bloody Mary as a hangover cure. Why not? So, yes, so next week is Australian Gin Week. Maybe I should, okay, I need to spend a little bit of time thinking tomorrow. Do I want to make next week Australian Gin Week? Because I have a lot of Australian gins. In fact, I do not have any gins that are not Australian gins. Because I don't see the point. Oh my God. Oh, I just have to keep apologizing for yawning. It's once I yawn once, I just keep yawning and it's just not good. So, okay, maybe I need to put a bit of thought in tomorrow. Do I want to do cocktails for Australian Gin Week? Maybe I do. Maybe I do want to do that. I need to put a bit of thought into it, though. What I would do for Australian Gin Week. So for your sleep got interrupted by neighbours. Neighbours will do that shit to you. Don't know if you're in an apartment or if you're in an apartment, it's just shit. Oh, if you're in an apartment, multi-story building, you're so at the mercy of your neighbours. My neighbours have to be fair because I'm in a standalone house. My neighbours have to be fairly noisy for me to notice, fairly noisy for them to disturb my sleep. It does actually happen occasionally, not very much. That's more on about. God, I can't stop yawning. Maybe I should just go to bed. Oh, good Lord. Yes, that's a serious thought that is occurring me. I mean, it's 10 to 10. Normally I stop at 10. Maybe I should just stop now because I cannot stop yawning. Does anyone want to discuss anything quickly before I go to bed? Because I can feel yet another yawn coming. Yeah, I'm going to yawn again. I can't stop yawning. I should absolutely just go to bed because the degree to which I'm yawning at the moment is ridiculous. Do I do it again? Okay. Okay. No one in the chat is trying to talk me out of going to bed. So I think, even though it's just teensy bit early, I might go to bed because I am quite tired. Abigail, I have not considered the antimatter asymmetry problem. If you like, if you want to join Angry Bunch tomorrow night, we can have a talk about the antimatter asymmetry problem because that seems like something we could talk about for a while. And I might parade, and I have one more new cocktail shirt that I'm yet to wear on a stream that I might wear tomorrow, or I might just have a white shirt on because I might be making cocktail videos. Who knows? It's a strange and mysterious world that we live in. But anyway, I will see all you fine folk another time because I'm just zonking out. I got to do one or two things before going to bed. I'm going to go to bed. So I will say good night. Abigail also wants us to discuss the disparity of handedness of neutrinos. Okay, this is weird. Okay, you seem to be setting up tomorrow night's stream is going to be hard science, which I am all for a hard science night. But for now, I'm going to go to bed. So I will say